Today I'm out here at Miami Zoo. Purpose for this trip to the zoo today is to try out the Nikon Z50 Mark II with the two kit lens, the 16 to 50 millimeter lens and the 50 to 250 millimeter lens. Chances are the 16 to 50 won't get much use out here today, but I've already taken some photographs with the 50 to 250 millimeter lens. The camera seems to be doing a pretty good job of getting on the face of animals and trying to find the eyes. The animals that I've photographed right now have been in a very shaded area, and they're dark animals with dark eyes. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I'm curious to see just how well this camera is performing. I was fortunate when I arrived to the zoo that two of the tigers were out. One of them was behind trees and there was no opportunities to take any photographs there. But the other one started walking around and gave me a few opportunities to take some photographs as it was walking around. I quickly took out the Z50 Mark II and the 50 to 250 millimeter lens and put the camera on program and just started shooting that way. And then I was able to go ahead and adjust the settings where I was selecting the shutter speed and letting the camera pick the apertures. And the ISOs were very, very high. Even though it's a bright sunny day right now out here at the zoo, animal tends to be in the shade. And I'm also trying to keep a shutter speed that's fast enough in case the animal takes off running or anything quick that it may do, that I can go ahead and capture it without having motion blur. I also brought with me the Nikon 70 to 200 millimeter lens, and I really hope to use it a lot inside the aviary, which is where I am at right now. Now, the nice thing about using the 200 millimeter lens on the Nikon Z50 Mark II is that because of the APS-C crop factor, it's going to be a 300 millimeter at f2.8. I also brought with me for the Nikon 200 millimeter lens, the Nikon 1.4 extender. Now, the nice thing about it is when you attach the 1.4 extender to the Nikon 70 to 200 millimeter lens, is that the aperture becomes an f4. And f4 is definitely a really good aperture when you consider that you're also going out to 420 millimeters because of the APS-C crop factor. There's no doubt that the 70 to 200 millimeter lens is going to be a pretty heavy lens for this camera. It's going to be very front heavy. That's going to be like a 3-pound lens. On the camera, it's barely reaching a pound. But the thing about the 70-200 that it's a long lens, and you're going to certainly be holding it by the front of the barrel, and I think that'll help balance things out. I have a small bird on a tree branch, and unfortunately it's backlit, but I'm hoping to make a good photograph here. I'm at 400 2.8 ISO 2000, and that's possible because I'm at 300 millimeters on the Nikon Z50 Mark II, and the box is doing a really good job of getting on the eye, which I can't even see. So hopefully it's working out. Now, this is an image that if I were to try to do anything with it, I'd end up having to crop it because I'm not as tight as I would like to be. I do have the image stabilizer turned on the camera. Shutter speed just went down to like 160 for a bird that's walking on the ground. Now I was able to move over to my left and find a closer composition of this bird. It's beautiful. And I'm able to compose it with a nicer background, even though I had to move from the first shot because there's a log in the back and it was very white and I thought that was distracting. So I've moved over a little bit and I'm able to compose a pretty decent image. Still fighting with that log in the background and sometimes people walking by. I definitely need to have the image stabilizer on for these photos because my shutter speed is 2/50th of a second and I'm out to 300 millimeters. Well, what would a day be in South Florida if it doesn't rain? Pretty cool for this video of the black crown crane. I went ahead and started with the camera totally out of focus to see if it would finally come in, and once I hit the record button, it started to gradually come into focus and hopefully start tracking the bird pretty good. So I was able to go ahead and try the 11 frames per second on the black crown crane where it opened up its wings, and I shot a bunch of frames. We'll see how those turned out. Now, regarding the Nikon Z50 Mark II, as far as functions and settings, I really haven't changed much on the camera. The only thing I did change was where I could turn the front dial to select my shutter speed when I'm taking photos in manual and use the back dials for selecting the aperture. This is the way I used to shoot with Canon, where the front dial was for shutter speed and the back dial is for aperture. So that's something that you do have to go and change in the camera because it doesn't come set that way. It's actually reverse of that. One thing that I'm not happy about so far with the Nikon Z50 Mark II, as far as the dials are concerned, the PASM dial moves very easily. A few times today where I'm like, what's going on here? I have the camera set to manual, and it would be set on something totally different, like aperture priority, shutter speed, even some of the U modes, the U1s, U2, U3, sometimes the camera would be set to that. Another thought regarding the buttons on the Nikon Z50 Mark II. The record button is sometimes a little difficult to find because the camera is so small that these buttons are very close together, and also the buttons are very flat. That also contributes to making it difficult to find. Pleasantly surprised with the battery life. I've shot a little bit of video. I've had the image stabilizer turned on. I've done some high-speed photography, shooting at 11 frames per second. And right now the battery's still showing that it's fully charged. I doubt that it's fully charged. Hopefully it's not one of those indicators that actually goes from telling you it's fully charged to just drop dead. So we'll see how that works out. The grip on the Nikon Z50 Mark II is really outstanding. I'm using the 70-200mm 2.8 lens on this camera, and really have had no complaints holding it when I bring it up to take a picture, or even when I'm just carrying it around. The grip just feels outstanding on this camera. Had an opportunity to photograph the orangutans. Not too many pictures. The lighting there was very difficult, but the orangutan was active a little bit. It was doing a behavior I've never seen it do before, where it was really messing around with sand and getting it with his hands and covering his face all up with dirt. Thought it was pretty cool. Hopefully there's a photograph that can show that. Did do a little bit of video with that also, and we'll see how that turns out. The ISO is very high for those pictures and for the video. Finally got an opportunity where a bird took off flying and got off a couple of frames. It was coming right at me, so it's quite challenging for the camera, so we'll see how it performs. I think I had a fast enough shutter speed, and I did have the continuous autofocus on, so we'll see if I got lucky. It's not going to be a great image because the environment around it wasn't the best. Give you some thoughts regarding the camera. I think it performs really well for the price category this camera is in. If you ever photograph with a digital SLR camera, you'll remember those blackouts that you get between frames, and that's what's happening when I shoot 11 frames per second. So that's something that you'll have to adjust to. The 70-200mm lens, I think, is a great lens to mount on this camera because of the fact that you'll get 300mm at 2.8 and 420 at f4. I think that's pretty cool. Hope you guys get something out of this video. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and I thank you for watching.